Hey YouTube, today I'm going to be doing a review of the Pure Quick Pro Glitters set. Now I did buy this with my own money. It was $39 for 5 of these kind of small looking glitter eyeshadows. But I did want to buy it to try out this formula and see if it was as good as the Stila Magnificent Metals, which are absolutely amazing, but $24 each. To kind of give an initial spoiler, I do think this is a really great set. I'm very happy that I got it. I do have some cons to discuss with the formula and some other minor details, but I have been playing around with it and I am overall impressed, and I do think it's a good dupe for the Magnificent Metals. So let's start by talking about the formula. I feel like that is the most important thing to consider in a dupe. If the price is fantastic but the product's no good, what's the purpose in buying the dupe? Now, for me, the Pure glitters are a lot more watery than the Stila Magnificent Metals. You can even see it in the tube. In particular, some of them kind of seem more watery than others. And it does kind of make it a little bit more tricky to initially apply them. Now, in my opinion, if you're able to use the product, if the application doesn't bother you, the end result is very, very similar, and I am in fact wearing the Pure shade today, Lust. I think that it is stunning. I'm very happy with the end result. However, you may be able to see that there are a couple spots where it's just a little bit patchy. Stila can be a little patchy too if you're not careful with the application, but I do find that the brush that comes in the Stila Magnificent Metals is definitely superior to what you get with Pure. With the Pure glitters, you get a silicone tipped applicator, which is a little bendy but also a little awkward, slightly uncomfortable to use. Whereas with the Stila Magnificent Metals, you do get a very nice, soft, very bendable wand. I have to mention something very odd with applying these. I've noticed that for about 20 seconds after I apply the Quick Pure Pro glitters, I get a little bit of a stinging sensation, and I kind of hoped it was just the first one that I used and that would fade, but no, it seems to be pretty consistent. I seem to always get a little bit of stinging. It does go away completely, but I'm not really sure what to make of it. It's not something that makes me absolutely love the product, since that's usually a sign that there's some irritation going on, so I'm not sure I would recommend these for anybody with sensitive skin, as I don't have sensitive skin and I still have that effect. But it does also seem like from other reviews that I might be the only one experiencing this. Now, to comment on the wear time, the Stila is something that I've been wearing for months and months, and overall I absolutely love it. I just find this product expensive. But in general, I've not had any issues. I've had that minimal fallout, but no chunking off. If you've ever had that happen with this type of a product, I have, but not with the Stila. This one is really good. I don't get any chunking off. Now, great news, I don't get that with the Pure either. I've been able to wear this for up to 10 hours at a time, and the pigmentation is still phenomenal. No loss of color, no chunking off. As for fallout, I didn't really notice any more fallout with the Pure product than with the Stila, so as you know, you do get a little bit of fallout. This is definitely the kind of product where you should probably do your eye makeup first so you can wipe off what you can under your foundation, but then throughout the night or day or wherever you wear these, you will get a little bit of glitter on your cheeks. Now, I did notice more fallout than usual with the Midnight Diamond shade. This one seems to have it more so than others. I don't know if it's because it's a darker color and it's more visible, but I noticed more fallout with this than any of the other glitter eyeshadows that I have here. So I do have some swatches for you guys of all the colors included in this set. This is Lust, Namaste, OMG, Midnight Diamond rather, and Queenie. So I'll go ahead and put a picture in the corner of the screen so you can also see more closely what I'm talking about. But some of these do have a little bit of bumpiness. Even with just swatching them, you can kind of tell that some of the color gets wiped away. And I think it is because of that stiff silicone tip. It just has a tendency to move the product more so than apply it. So you do want to use a really light hand with these so that you avoid the bumps. Now there's a swatch to compare of the Stila Magnificent Metals in Rose Gold Retro, and you can see that it definitely did apply more smoothly. So I do think that one of the cons with this is definitely that application. Now as far as an ingredients comparison between these two, I'll go ahead and put that in the corner. On the top I'll have the Stila ingredients list, and then on the bottom I will have the Pure ingredients list. So there's a lot of similarities between these two formulas. Both of them have water as the first ingredient, but I definitely think the Pure formula does have more water. It seems more watery. The second ingredient in both of them is where you get your pigmentation from. For Stila, it is mica, and for Pure, it is synthetic phlogopite. Now, I looked that up, and apparently that is a more humane alternative to mica. Mica is often sourced from areas where there can be lax child labor laws, so I do think it's nice that the synthetic version of mica is not going to have that issue. Not to say Pure is completely innocent, since they did name one of their shades Namaste, which is kind of a bit of cultural appropriation of a Hindu term combined with African American vernacular English. But I digress. Now, the Stila formula uses squalane as a filler, whereas Pure is using glycerin and propylene glycol. This is what's kind of going to create the, I guess, almost primer-like feeling that both of them do have going on. They both do claim to be a primer and eyeshadow all in one. I will say from looking at these that the ingredients in the Stila formula are just a little bit more expensive. Not to say they're necessarily better, just putting that out there to justify the price, which I will get to later. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about the price differences between these guys. Now, I cannot find the Pure glitters sold individually, but they claim that the 5-piece set has a $93 value. Assuming that's true, that means that Pure is pricing each one of these at $18.60, whereas Stila's Magnificent Metals run for $24. I was actually really shocked when I looked at the weight of these two. The Stila has a weight of 4.5 milliliters, and the Pure has a weight of 5.5 milliliters. You actually get more product in each of these little tiny Pure bottles than in the Stila Magnificent Metals. Now, worth noting, I think I use a little bit more of the Pure formula every time I apply it than I do the Stila formula. I'm assuming this has to do with the higher water content of the Pure formula, but I think that in terms of usage, I would guess I'd probably go through these at about the same rate, in spite of this one having more weight to it. But in theory, this set is an amazing value considering each of these are more weight than each of these. What this breaks down to is that for Stila, you pay $5.33 per milliliter, and for these Pure Cosmetics glitters, you pay $1.42 a milliliter. That cost means that this is 73% less than Stila. Let's go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison of the application of the Pure glitters next to the application of the Stila. Okay, so I lost the wig and some of my concealer, but we're going to do the side-by-side. I've got the Pure Cosmetics Queenie Quick Pro Glitter, and I'm just going to apply this on a bare eye, just for the purposes of showing you guys how it applies. Now, what does not work with these is kind of patting them on, even though you get more coverage that way, but that's how you seem to end up getting these kind of bumps. And what you want to really be careful of is that this doesn't get completely dried out. You have to keep dipping it in, because if it gets dry and then you swipe it over, you can end up taking a lot off. For comparison, on the other eye, I'm going to put the Stila Magnificent Metals in Diamond Dust. The only shade that this set is missing is a silver, in my opinion. So because this wand is more flexible, you do get a more even coverage. So that is the side-by-side. I will say that the Stila one is definitely more glittery and easier to apply, but the Pure Cosmetics one isn't that far behind in impact of the color. Now for some final thoughts, I am really impressed with this set. I think it is a really good dupe for the Stila Magnificent Metals. I'm very impressed with the pigmentation. I think you get a great color scheme in here, lots of options. I think the wear time is amazing. The only cons for this would be that I really don't like the applicator tip in these. And I do have a bit of a concern with that initial stinging. As far as price, I don't think you can beat this. I've definitely tried other dupes for the Stila Magnificent Metals and not been impressed. I'm going to go ahead and say this is the closest formula that I've found to the Magnificent Metals. Alright guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, YouTube.